Welcome to Sports Talk.
Hello everyone, welcome. This is Nick from Top Notch Sports, and today we're going to be going over the Atlanta Falcons salary review and all-season moves for 2023. The Atlanta Falcons, under head coach Arthur Smith, year 2, and rookie quarterback Desmond Ridder towards the very end of the season, finished last in the NFC South, going 7-10, and this upcoming season, they're going to try to improve their record and improve in their standings. Last season, the NFC South, or this past season, the NFC South was pretty atrocious. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers went 8-9 and won the division. But with Tom Brady looking to leave, the Carolina Panthers firing head coach Matt Rule, with the Saints no longer having Sean Payton and looking for their future quarterback, could this Atlanta Falcons team take great strides in year 3 under Arthur Smith? This is a question many Atlanta Falcons fans are wondering. And this is a question many NFL football fans are wondering. This video is going to be going over a mock offseason for the Atlanta Falcons. Every move I make in this video, you're not going to necessarily agree with, but we want to hear what you think in the comment section below, where we went right and where we went wrong. We want to hear insight and listen to you Atlanta fans that watched every single game, because you are the ones that know this team like the back of your hand. Let's hop right into this thing. Here we are here. These are your expected starters that are currently under contract. At the end of this video, I will tell you my new prediction for what I think this team will do at the end of this offseason. But right now, if you're new to this series, these are the guys that are under contract. The guys in green, if you cut them, you save money. The guys in red, if you cut them, you lose money. A quick example, if you cut Jake Matthews, your left tackle, which you would never do, you would save $3 million. If you were to cut someone like Drake London, which you would never do, you would end up losing $12.8 million. With this being stated, you're more than welcome to sit here and look around and let me know what you think. Who might get cut? Who might you keep? But right now, we're going to go to our notable losses slide. The slide that shows us who is currently up for a contract, who needs a contract, and who might be getting, let loose into free agency this upcoming offseason. Here are your notable losses. The first guy you see is very important. But before we even hop into who it is, I want to explain our percent of snaps played. Percent of snaps played this year is going over the percent of snaps a player played when they were actively on the roster during that game day. That might sound a little confusing. It's confusing for me to even, spit out to you guys. The whole thing is this. If they were put on the IR, their percent of snaps played would not be going down because they were not on the active roster. So, again, if somebody here has a high percent of snaps played and they missed like 8 games, the reason why they have a high percent of snaps played is because the games that they were available, they played a lot of their percent of snaps. If that makes any sense. If not, I can clarify that in the comments. Hopefully, maybe I can spit it out a little bit easier. But all right, here we go. First guy, things first, Caleb McGarry, right tackle. Expected contract, 4 years, $70.9 million. He played 100% of the snaps. Next guy, Rashaan Evans, outside linebacker. Expected contract, 2 years, $9 million. Played 98% of the snaps this season. Alamedi Zacchaeus, wide receiver. Expected contract, 2 years, $7.5 million. He plays 71% of the snaps. And last but not least, edge rusher Lorenzo Carter. Expected contract, a 2-year, $10 million deal. Played 53% of the snaps. Typically, a good rule of thumb is guys that play a high percentage of the snaps are guys that they usually tend to try to bring back, especially if the regime stays the same and they play well during the snaps that they played in the prior season. So let's go to the next slide where we're looking at my potential targets. Here we are, the potential targets. First things first, again, you see you got $69.8 million in estimated cap space available. Estimated cuts. We don't have you guys cutting nobody. The reason why, we have a lot of money to use this year, and I know they will end up cutting players, but for the sake of this series, we don't have to cut nobody to bring in some big names. And you still got a lot of money left over that is going to roll over the next year. So let's see what we do. First things first, we're going to re-sign Caleb McGarry to a 4-year, $70.8 million deal, which is a $17.7 million cap hit. Next thing we're going to do, bring it back, Rashaan Evans, 2-year, $9 million deal, $4.5 million cap hit. We're going to re-sign Lorenzo Carter, 2 years, $10 million, $5 million cap hit, and Alamedi Zacchaeus, 2 years, $7.4 million, $3.7 million cap hit. After that, we're going to go out and sign free safety Jordan Poyer, 3 years, $33 million, so $11 million cap hit. And last but not least, Zach Allen, 2 years, $12.6 million, $6.3 million cap hit. which comes out to being $48.2 million in total cost. That still saves you $21.6 million to use. Now, again, in this series, we didn't see anybody else that you guys can really bring out to keep it realistic. If you were to save this much money this upcoming free agency, this amount of money rolls over to the 2024 offseason, which means that you even have more money than most teams going into next year to re-sign and sign other players. So it wouldn't be a bad thing to save some money for next year. With that all being stated, how does that fill in our team needs? Well, our offensive tackle, we're re-signing Caleb McGarry. At the edge position, we're re-signing Lorenzo Carter. At the linebacker position, we're re-signing Rashaan Evans. Then on top of that, at defensive tackle, our need was, we need a defensive tackle. We're bringing in Zach Allen. And last but not least, at the safety position, we're bringing in Jordan Poyer. Now we got the draft. We only did the first 3 rounds. We did a mock draft. In the first round, we're drafting edge rusher Myles Murphy, okay? In the second round, we're drafting wide receiver Rashee Rice. And in the third round, we're drafting cornerback Jalen Jones. Now, again, that fills in our needs at those positions. Wide receiver Rashee Rice. Cornerback, we're drafting Jalen Jones. And again, an edge rusher, we're also bringing in Myles Murphy. Now, again, you might say, why are we bringing in so many edge rushers? We got Arnold Ebiketie. We got Myles Murphy. We got Lorenzo Carter. Well, look, Lorenzo Carter played pretty decent. And get him for a 2-year, $10 million deal, $5 million cap hit. That's a bargain to have an extra edge rusher. You should have 3-4 edge rushers on your team that you can rotate. And again, I always believe, and I truly do believe this, you build your offensive line, you build your defensive line, then you insert the other positions. And I feel like if you do these moves, you're contending. Let's look at the next slide where we look at our 2023 expected lineup. Here is our 2023 expected lineup. And right away, top left corner, you see that we saved $21.6 billion. They can use this during the 2023 season, or they can save it and have it roll over to the 2024 offseason. With that being stated, let's go over the colors. The guys in orange are the guys that you're re-signing. We're re-signing Caleb McGarry. We're re-signing Alamadi Zacchaeus. We're re-signing Lorenzo Carter. We're re-signing Rashaan Evans. In green, we are signing players. We are signing Zach Allen. We're signing Jordan Poyer. And in light blue are the guys that we're drafting. We're drafting Jalen Jones to play corner. We're drafting Myles Murphy to play edge. We're drafting Rashee Rice to play, receiver. With that being stated, I look at this team and I think we make grand strides from last year to this year. The offensive line is still looking pretty dang decent. The weapons between Drake London, Kyle Pitts, you're keeping Zacchaeus, you're bringing Rashee Rice, they're good enough. You still got your quarterback in Desmond Ridder. You got Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson to play running back / receiver. Wherever you want to put this guy, you can put him anywhere. But Tyler Algier, too, from last year's draft. You look at your defense. Grady Jarrett to lock up the middle. You got Zach Allen, a guy that usually gets around 7 sacks-ish a season. You got Arnold Ebiketie, a guy, rookie last year. I wasn't a huge fan of him. Didn't play too bad, though, from what I'm understanding. You guys let me know. Keep me updated in the comment section how he played. You're also adding Myles Murphy and Lorenzo Carter to also come off the edge with Arnold Ebiketie now. You got Rashaan Evans and Troy Anderson, a rookie from last year. And then on top of that, again, we're bringing in Jalen Jones. Again, Casey Hayward isn't getting any younger. So it's not a bad idea to bring in Jalen Jones, a guy that can maybe fill in the reins when Casey Hayward finally walks away. A.J. Terrell, absolutely love that guy since he came out. Richie Grant, you drafted a few years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. And Jordan Poyer, a superstar safety that the Buffalo Bills physically probably cannot bring back this upcoming offseason. With all that being stated, I think that this Atlanta Falcons team with Desmond Ridder in year 2 that got to learn the system of Arthur Smith in a very weak and crumbling NFC South, I feel like this team can win definitely 8 to 9 games next season. You're not losing nobody. You got a ton of cap space left. And if you make these moves, you're becoming a contender. With Tampa Bay probably losing Tom Brady, if they don't bring in someone like Derek Carr or another quarterback that's a veteran quarterback that can get it done with those weapons. If the Carolina Panthers don't bring in another guy, again, a Derek Carr, a Tom Brady, which I know Tom's not going there, and a few of the other guys that are out there, but there's not really many left. A Lamar Jackson, for the love of God. If they don't make that move and they rock and roll with Sam Darnold or Matt Corral, again, I see them crumbling a little bit. And the New Orleans Saints, a team that has negative $60 million in cap space, that can make very little moves. Now, again, they hire great accountants. I don't see them really bringing anybody that great. Atlanta in year 3 under Arthur Smith can increase their wins by 1 or 2 next season and be contending in the NFC South. I feel like if they make these moves, Atlanta finishes probably around 2nd place in the NFC South, fighting for the number 1 seed, and possibly winning this division. With that being stated, let me know what you think in the comment section below. We'll see you guys next time. Peace. We are Built Better.